Are you using one?
I guess we need to use the program, the timer.
Over there.
It's right there.
Some of them things off. Okay, they're all out there now. Take the mouse over there now.
Okay.
HealthMasters is now in session. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Toastmaster of the day is an up-and-coming distinguished Toastmaster soon. She is now an officer of the club as well as a district officer. She is moving forward to make things happen for our club. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Nicole Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster and our President, Honorable President Dewey McGarr. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased and just thrilled to be the Toastmaster of the day. We're going to get it moving right along, going on to our grammarian of the day, which is Sonia Davis. Let's welcome Toastmaster Sonia Davis.
Thank you, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster. I'm really excited, and I know I just used one of those words, those crutch words, so I apologize. That's a totally bad example I'm setting here. I really need to catch that. Nicole, I'm really excited when I come in and I see young people, and I'm like, okay, am I between? Am I part of that? So I'm looking forward to watching you as you evolve. So my job as grammarian is to present the word of the day, and the word of the day is euphoria. It is a noun, a sense of feeling great happiness. And I will use in this sentence, HealthMasters, Toastmasters club members are encouraged to be euphoric throughout the day. So using the word euphoric or euphoria, which is euphoric being an adjective of the word euphoria. So E-U-P-H-O-R-I-A, euphoria. So I'm looking forward to hearing you all express the word euphoria, being euphoric throughout the day, and looking forward to giving a report on that later on. So I will step away from the lectern and return it back to our Toastmaster.
Awesome. Thank you, Toastmaster Davis. That was awesome. I experienced such euphoria this weekend at the Maxwell concert. Oh my, did I experience some euphoria. And if you all know, I set the theme for today is concerts. So that's just kind of tying it into our theme of the day. Now we're going to move on to our Toastmaster Minute by one of our newer members, Toastmaster Aaron. Let's welcome him to the lectern.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Health Masters. Hope everybody had a great weekend. One of the important things about being a Toastmaster is inviting others to become a Toastmaster, right? And I thought about that. Why is it important that we go out and invite people to be part of our group? Well, obviously, the first point is we want new members. We want people to enjoy and learn to become better speakers, as we all do, correct? But I think what we really miss is any time that you interact with somebody and you're inviting somebody to your meeting here and becoming a Toastmaster, you're engaging in communication. You have an opportunity to work on your speech, to work on your communication, your values, and things that you want to achieve and get better at. And in the interim, you're also inviting somebody new to come into the club. So that's what I wanted to pass on to you guys today. And I assure you, when you go out and you talk to somebody and you get them to become a member and come here and sit in here, you will have a state of euphoria that you will not believe. Thank you. Nicole, I pass it on to you.
That was awesome. Thank you, Toastmaster Aaron. We have some great new members. Davis and Aaron is just awesome. So I'm now excited, and you can ding me, Anita. I just said so. Feel free to ding us throughout the meeting. However, you can pause on your dinging because we're going to introduce our first speaker of the day, which is one of our newer members, Toastmaster Patricia Miner, who will be giving her speech from the Competent Communicator Manual, The Chosen One. Let's welcome Patricia Miner.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Patricia Miner, the chosen one. Why? Well, let me tell you. I was born in West Memphis, Arkansas. I grew up in Smackover, Arkansas, after being adopted at the age of 18 months. It was at that time I became the chosen one. And no, I'm not the superstar of the horror movie, The Chosen One. That's not me. But being the chosen one has afforded me an opportunity to receive lots of favor. I was born out of wedlock to a teenage mother who opted to put me up for adoption. But yet I was chosen by two loving parents to be a daughter and to be a sister. So that's where my favor comes in. I grew up with one older sister. She was also adopted, so we're not blood related. I have two nieces, one nephew, and a great nephew. Now, one funny thing is my older niece, who spent a lot of time with me every summer, a lot of people think she's my daughter. Her mom even says she acts like you, she talks like you, her attitude just like yours, or whatever. But that's my niecey poo. And so I guess when you're not blood related, even I get that with my sister. Like my dad used to call, and he'd have to ask, which one am I talking to? Or whatever. So I guess that old adage proves true. You know, if you feed them long enough, they grow up, they sound like you, they look like you, they act like you. But in life, I have encountered two innate strikes. These are something not of my doing, nothing that I even ventured out to do, but it's just as society has assigned. I started my life's journey as a child, being born out of wedlock. I was in an orphanage up until 18 months until I was adopted. And being adopted, as I had said before, that was favor, because I could have been raised in a foster home or an orphanage and not have the privileges that I've had growing up. Favor. Secondly, my parents, who chose me, was divorced. So that was another strike, because then I learned that I was a child from a single-parent home who was deemed or destined to have negative outcomes. And then as I grew up and furthered my alone in school, I learned that I was known as a latchkey child. And I'm like, okay, latchkey child. What is a latchkey child? And this is a child that has grown up, comes home to an empty home. There's no parent there. Or what, and in my case, I only had a single parent. I came from a single parent home. So my mother worked all the time. So I was destined to be a troublemaker. But it was at that point I decided I would make a difference, and I would not be titled or labeled by society. I decided that I would prove them wrong and not become a statistic based on society's measurements. I was labeled due to circumstances beyond my control, so I took on the determination in early to not to be defined by society or my circumstances, but by the successes of my efforts. And so this is the same determination I want to influence others whose life's journey is at risk of being defined or labeled by society based on bad circumstances. I want to one day have a facility housing orphans or foster kids who are not fortunate to be adopted, and yet giving them the opportunity to feel like they have been chosen, have favor. I am Patricia Minor, the chosen one.
Wow. Thank you, chosen one. That was awesome. Much euphoria, right? Are we having that euphoria in here today? Awesome. We're going to move to our next speaker, speaker number 2, one of our distinguished Toastmasters, Adrian Duncan, who will be speaking from the Competent Communicator Manual, 5 Points to Success. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Adrian Duncan. Thank you.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Today is the day you will decide what your future will be. As this chosen one was stating, you are euphoric today. Sleeping on the job. Wow. Let's see. I have 2 questions this morning. Is there anyone in the room that has a manual in their possession? How many? How many? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count. See how many individuals have their manual? 7. All right, good. I'll keep count of that. 7. Be sure and write their name down. Have someone write their name down. I want to be sure that happens, with your permission. Today's word is euphoric. That's true. However, the word I used today was when I started deciding whether to or not to become an area governor, I had 5 things I had to decide to do. 1 was to select. Number 2 was to engage. Number 3 was to verify. Number 4, R is respect. S-E-R-V. R, respect. S-E-R. The E was for excellence. I had to turn them around just as you have seen R-I-S-E turned around, which it's integrity, respect, and so forth in our Toastmasters. I looked to see who in this audience would help me to get from this point to that one. In selecting, I had to select at least one person that would give me an option of going to some place called Camden, Arkansas. Where is that? I don't know. I've never been there. Where is El Dorado? Probably the most southern part of the state that you can find in Arkansas and not be down in Louisiana. I had to select someone that would take or make the time to help me engage those individuals in clubs which I know nothing about. It's been a long time since I've been to El Dorado doing tall tales. Has anybody done a tall tale? I heard y'all talking this morning in your office. You were telling tall tales and won't admit it. And you were engaged to the point where everybody was looking at you like, wow, was that a concert or what? The next person walked by and said, those folks in there are euphoric. Wow. I said, whew, that is cool. R, I found out there has to be respect above and beyond. When I see Brother Leonard, Toastmaster Leonard, I see Brother Dewey, and I see these other young people, especially Miss Sonia, respect is a word that you automatically put in your mind when you see her. There's somebody named Barbara Williams. When she started out, I'm thinking, wow, that girl is some kind of good-looking, sharp, intelligent, etc. And then she sits back and says, well, I don't think I'm very euphoric. I don't think I could put on a concert. She just wasn't at that point yet. Now turn around and look at Miss Barbara and look at Sonia. They would pass for twins in their euphoric state. Y'all missed that. Okay. Then when I started looking to decide how I was going to get from way down in El Dorado to some place called Pine Bluff. Has anybody heard of Pine Bluff? Oh, well, I haven't until my niece moved down there. Whew. Back several years ago, and I'm not about to tell you how many years ago, I had a real close cousin that lived down there, and it was so far from Little Rock, I said, there is no way I'm going into that jungle and find somebody in a little bitty town called Pine Bluff, which the people I talked to never heard of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. What happened next was, to verify there was, my niece had the nerve to let her husband become a Church of Christ preacher in Rising, Arkansas. Where do you believe I wound up going? Every Saturday, the last Saturday in July, where do I wind up going? Pine Bluff and some place called Rising, Arkansas. The next step, now I've got to find the bank and the other places in Pine Bluff, which I don't know anything about. I've got to call my niece and send her an email and say, okay, I'm coming down on a couple of days, whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday. I've got to figure out and spend a couple of days down there because their concert, y'all listen to this, a concert is on Saturday night, July the 30th. Lord willing, I'll be there. How many days do I have to stay before I can go to the Pine Bluff Toastmaster meeting? It may be Tuesday. They may meet on Tuesday. And it may be at sundown. I'm not sure. However, the next part of it I found out was to watch for those individuals. Each one of you, look at the inside of yourself. There is excellence. Hear what I said? On the inside of each one of you, it's excellence. How do I know that? When I started working with Toastmasters several years ago, a young man named John Jacob was a very, very young man. The thing he told me was when you're engaged, you're selected, you're respected, you have verification that you are an official Toastmaster, the two words he said to me, don't quit. What did he say? Don't quit. He was euphoric. He said, don't quit. He said the one word that you want to remember as long as you're breathing, and this is the gospel, S-E-R-V-E. Select, engage, respect, verify, excellent, with excellence, whatever you do. I'm on a trip, a journey, a concert, if you will, that's above and beyond anything you've seen this coming year. I want you, I'm asking you personally, individually, to bring the excellence from the inside of you out to the front. Put on a concert. I want you to be euphoric every day helping somebody that has decided there are individuals that will help me to select when and where, to engage when and where, to verify when and where with respect, and do it with excellence. Help me do it. Yeah. Will you help me do it? If you will stand up and help me do it, stand up and be euphoric, stand up and help me, and say, yes! Yes! Stand up! Yes! Madam Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, you're looking great.
Awesome.
Let's put on a concert.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Adrian Duncan, for those 5 points to success. And yes, we can. We will do it. We're going to move to our third speaker of the day, another distinguished Toastmaster that we have here, Philip Borden, will be speaking from the manual, The Entertaining Speaker, titled No Substitute. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Philip Borden. Thank you.
There's a quote for everything, right? If you've been in Toastmasters long enough, you'll discover that if you look hard enough, you can find a quotable quote somewhere that can help you say just about anything that you want to say, make any point that you want to make. In fact, I think it was H.L. Mencken who said, there's a quote for everything, something like that. Then Albert Einstein said, no, there's not. Then George Washington said, yes, there is. I think does that sound right? Not be exactly right. I think George Washington said, I cannot tell a lie. Yes, there is a quote for everything. It's on the internet. I don't know. Did you also know that when people use quotable quotes by those famous people, they don't always get those quotes correct word for word. I think that is a quote that was actually shared by Franklin Theodore Roosevelt, I believe, was the author of that book. Close enough, right? Well, I don't mean to brag, but I have been the originator of quite a few quotes myself. I actually have. I don't have to quote the greats or the famous authors. I can just quote myself if I want to. Over my years of Toastmasters, I've become the author of many famous quotes. No one has heard of them. They would be famous if it weren't for that. For example, let me say, before I give you one of my not-so-famous quotes, that my quotes are not exactly put together in that nice, compact, memorable, quotable way that you see on the internet of all those famous people like Aaron Hamilton and all those greats of our country. My quotes are a little bit rough in their format. For example, here's one of my not quite famous quotes. There is no substitute for communication. In any situation in life when there's communication that should have happened, that didn't happen, there's no way to work around the absence of communication. All that you can do is to go have the communication now that you should have had earlier. The only difference is it will now have to come with an apology, reparations of some kind, damage control of some kind that you wouldn't have to deal with if you just had the communication that you should have had earlier. Now, if you can figure out how to say that in 10 to 12 words, you could turn that into a quotable quote for the internet. Until that happens, I'll just take that as a life lesson that I have observed in other people by their experience. It's also a life lesson that I have proven to be true over and over again through my own failure or through communication that I should have been on top of that I didn't quite seize the day. Another way of saying what I just said there is that I've learned that lesson both the easy way and the hard way, right? The easy way from observing other people, the hard way from making those mistakes myself. I heard an interesting story that illustrates this point about the importance of communication. It's a story that I'm taking from Toastmaster Paul McLeod, who was our Division B director for a while until he relocated to Knoxville, Tennessee, and left that job for our own Joyce Biddle, doing a fine job. I'm happy to steal this story from Paul McLeod because it always gives me a sense of euphoria to take material from someone else, get up in Toastmasters and use it in a speech myself. The story is that there was a man in his living room sitting down to his recliner, just getting ready to relax and enjoy a ball game on TV. Right at that time, his two teenage children entered the kitchen from opposite sides of the kitchen. They both went for a bag of oranges. On the kitchen counter, there's only one orange left in the bag. Well, right away, the father knew that an argument was inevitable. At the same time, this ball game is about to start. He has to think quickly, what can he do? He jumped up, he went to the kitchen, he grabbed the biggest kitchen knife he could find from the knife rack. He sliced that last remaining orange right down the middle, perfectly centered, gave each half to his children, went back to his recliner. The ball game hadn't started yet, so he took a moment to congratulate himself on his quick thinking, problem-solving skills. He said to himself, you know, a lot of dads would have struggled with that situation. They would have gotten into the argument. It wouldn't have ended well. That was a stroke of genius back there, cutting the orange right down the middle. You know, in the Old Testament, Solomon went with a similar strategy. They said that he was wise. This is what separates average fathers from great fathers. You know, not everyone would have thought of this. What he didn't know is that in the kitchen, no one was really happy. Because what had happened was his teenage son wanted a quick, healthy snack before he had to leave for ball practice. His teenage daughter just wanted the rind of the orange to use to make a zest for a cake that she wanted to bake. They each had half the orange. What had happened was the teenage son ate his half of the orange slices and threw the rind away. The daughter threw away her half of the orange slices and made the cake the best she could with half of a rind of the orange. If they had just communicated, right? If they had only communicated, they had a win-win solution right there in front of them. Instead, the way it turned out was that half of that win-win solution ended up in the trash can. Well, while we are here in Toastmasters, we have opportunity to work on our communication skills and to practice and get feedback on that very important, critical skill of communicating. I hope that we take full advantage of that opportunity during our time in Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster.
Awesome, awesome. No substitute. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Philip, for that wonderful speech. We are moving right along on schedule, a little ahead of schedule. And I didn't recognize our guest here when I first started out, but I'm glad to see that you're with us here today. Thank you for the ding. And I think I only see one guest right now with us. So we're glad to have you here. Moving to table topics. Toastmaster Leonard Mercasa. Let's welcome him.
Toastmaster Nicole, fellow Toastmasters. Travel time. Accept the travel times. We are constructing an euphoric environment. Weigh in, fellow Toastmasters. We are the United States of America. Euphoric. First question, we go to because you are demonstrating euphoria. That's a panoramic smile. Come on down, please. We are the United States of America. As prayer help us.
Ooh. Wow, this is a loaded question. As you all may know, I have been also going through a dark time with family crises and seeing all the crises in the world. It's just been something that has weighed on me. I think that I have definitely found euphoria around me even during this time. Although this is one of the most unusual and trying summers of my life, it began with a trip to Colorado, where we visited Red Rocks Amphitheater, where concerts are held, and enjoyed some wonderful family time before health problems hit with the woman who raised me. And I think that being a state employee, I'm always cautious to delve into religion, but I will say an employee approached me during this time and definitely increased my feelings that prayer is important and that it's essential in these times that we turn to the forces around us that guide us and definitely find euphoria through that. A Christine original, you have to have some dark clouds to appreciate the blue of the sky.
Thank you. very much. We have time for one more, two more. The next question is, what can you do as a citizen outside the prayer? What can you do as a citizen?
Thank you for that wonderful question, Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters. Is there anything more euphoric than being called on when you don't want to be called on? I don't know. I think that prayer is important, and I think that we can do things as well. There are things that we can do that can make a difference. My dad always told me, Dave, look in the mirror, and I want you to repeat one thing every morning when you shave, and that is, if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I want you to think about this and say this right with me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Have you ever heard that saying that pray as if everything depends on God, but act as if everything depends on you? I think that's important. Obviously, prayer is important, but then what is that saying? The Lord helps those who help themselves. I think that's important. We have to have self-responsibility. We obviously need to think about other people. I happen to be Jewish. I happen to believe in a higher power. But I was raised in an interesting situation with my family. My dad's Lutheran, my mom's Jewish, which was great when my relatives, a lot of them, didn't understand Hanukkah, so I got Christmas gifts, Hanukkah gifts. And because my birthday's December 24th, I got birthday gifts. And because I have a twin brother, we would share the gifts. It's like 6 times the gifts. Imagine 6 times the gifts. I do believe we need to think about how we can impact through ourselves. We have a lot of control. We have more power than we realize. There's a saying that he who has the power or he does not have the power, it's all what you believe. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. We can do great things. We've got great people in this room. You're a wonderful person. You can do anything you can. Never give up. Keep fighting. Mr. Topic Master.
HealthMasters, David. One more. I can't leave this topic. We are the United States of America. We're a country of laws. Question is, right or wrong issue? Something else. Master Barbara, come on. Is it a right or wrong issue or something else? What do we face in this? Right or wrong issue?
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. That's why I was looking down. Come on. So I wouldn't have to answer that question. Okay, one more time.
The United States of America. Right or wrong issue or something else? Is it?
To me. Thank you. I'm a state employee, so I have to be careful what I say.
And safe space. We are euphoric here.
Yeah, that's a good word, euphoria. I demonstrate that every day, so they tell me. The times we live in, to me, I don't think about it much. I stop watching the news because it's depressing. However, I got a phone call this morning and was talking about something happened in my hometown, Louisiana, and it made me, I think I really got angry. I'm not sure what's going on other than these are times that we have all read at some point in time in the Bible, so it shouldn't be anything new to us. If you have read it, then you know that this is what God has put in place. Personally, I really got angry about gun makers. Racism has always been, and probably always will be. I think it's a learned behavior from years and years ago. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but that's what it means to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Barbara, I'll turn over the mic to Toastmaster Nicole. As distinguished Toastmaster Philip said, we have to communicate now. We don't want to wait.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Lennon, for that table topics. Great discussion, and it gave us a lot of time to think and reflect. I thought that was great. We're going to move right into our general evaluation portion of our meeting today with our past president, Dave Rutney. Let's welcome our past president, Dave Rutney, to the lectern.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Doesn't it bring you great euphoria when you know that we're starting the evaluation portion of the meeting in Toastmasters? Amazing euphoria, fantastic explosion of... All right, Dewey, you're looking at me like, what is wrong with Dave Rudney? I've been gone for a few weeks. I was in Ohio, where the Republican convention will take place today, whether or not you are interested or not. It's a great boon for the city of Cleveland, for the state of Ohio. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first evaluator who will be evaluating Patricia's speech. Let's welcome Toastmaster Antoinette Mitchell.
And being in, thank you so much. Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, I bring to you today the evaluation of Patricia Minor, her very first icebreaker speak. Patricia's speech. Stand, Patricia, stand. You have done an outstanding job. The chosen one. You selected a great topic, and you carried the topic from the beginning all the way to the end. Your intro was awesome. You got our attention. You had your confidence about you. You knew what you were going to say. It came straight from the heart, Patricia. It is a comforting speech that you made. It is a speech that kept us wondering sometimes, now, what else is she going to say? Those kind of speeches and the way you speak, the tone. You had very good tone. You had very good, the movement of your hands, body language was good. Now, the enthusiasm was good as well. We talked about confidence. Did I say she had confidence? She had confidence. Patricia did. She did a great intro. We call that an opening. Then you went into the specifics of your chosen one as an adopted child. As an adopted child, you described to us not only were you, but your sister was an adopted child as well. Then you gave us the definition. Awesome. In an icebreaker, you're already way ahead of the icebreaker. Latchkey. What is a latchkey, kid? And you gave us the answer to that. Then you gave your own purpose for your speech and the future that you look forward to. I really enjoyed the speech. I could tell the audience did too, by the bowing of their heads, by the laughter, the attention that they had. The one thing I want to see in your future speeches, and that is that you ask the audience questions. The more you speak, the more experienced you will be. And I love that, the smile that you have and the way you come up here and present yourself at the lectern, Mr. Dewey, the lectern. All right? And not the podium, but the lectern. And the next thing I would like to see is that you practice, and at your 10th speech, you will be perfected in getting away from those notes. Wonderful speech. I look forward to the next one as your mentor. Mr. General Evaluation.
Thank you, Antoinette. Introduce our next evaluator who will be evaluating Adrian's speech. Let's welcome Toastmaster Barbara Williams.
Thank you, sir. Sir, general evaluator, sir. Anyway, I'm trying to work. I stay euphoric, I think. Adrian, if you all notice, Adrian didn't have on his glasses today. But did you hear him say, I see you, I see you, I see. He sees all. And we could not miss him with this red coat that he has on, with all of his Toastmaster thingies on there. As usual, Adrian, I can only hope to one day be as euphoric as you at the lectern when I'm giving a speech. You had a lot of vocal variety. You used a lot of gestures, which is what we encourage in Toastmasters, talking to the new neophytes here. You engaged the audience, and Louisiana is not lost. We're still hanging out there. I did like your 5 points, and that's what we really need to do in a lot of areas in our life, is to serve. And I want to keep paying attention to what you do so I don't get to that point where I want to quit. Great speech. I look forward to having my red jacket one day, being a distinguished Toastmaster such as yourself. Thank you, Master General Evaluator.
Oh, that was great. What do you think of having that? Like with the green jacket for the Masters Golf Tournament, maybe the red jacket should be for Distinguished Toastmaster. Something maybe to consider. Should we contact Toastmasters International about that? Some kind of a jacket we could present it. Adrian can pass the baton, pass the jacket. Something to think about. Our third and final evaluator for our meeting this afternoon, who will be evaluating Philip's speech. Please welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Dewey McGarr.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator, honored guests, especially Philip. It's obvious that everyone was entertained. This was a speech from the Entertaining Speaker Manual, Resources for Entertainment. How do I know that? Everyone was laughing. The entire room for 7 minutes was in a continuous state of euphoria. I'm used to seeing Dave present quotes. I have never seen a speech that was one big conglomeration of quote. Almost every word out of your mouth was a quote or an excerpt from a quote. It was amazing. Incredible how you put that together to create a dialogue from quotes. Many of them in context, out of context, cross context. That's what made it so funny. It was obvious that you were comfortable with what you were doing. You stepped away from the lectern, didn't use any notes. You must have practiced this thing 1,000 times. That's how you get good at something, you do it 1,000 times. My favorite part was the orange story. How lack of communication made you think you were being wise, but not. Because of lack of communication, we miss so many benefits in life. Your vocal variety is great. You were holding the microphone in one hand, gesturing with the other hand. Had you used the lapel mic, which is available, you could have gestured with both hands, and it would have been less one-sided with the gestures. You might consider that next time, since we do have a lapel mic available every week, because Mike has made that available to us. I want to avoid filler words. I heard you say "you know" once today. That surprised me. I've never heard you use that one before. That's usually Joyce's favorite word. I appreciate how you took the entertaining speaker to a new level. Brought us all with you on your euphoric ride. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dewey. Well, I just love saying I just wanted to hear it. There it is. All right. Now, it is time to move on to the Queen's English reporter who will tell us how did we do with our word of the day and with phrases. What did we do well? What can we do better in the future? Let's welcome our grammarian, Sonia Davis.
Very much, sir. I failed to put on my phone, so I have no idea how many steps I've made, but I feel like I've accomplished that today, so I feel euphoric. Go ahead and ding me on that one. All I can say is being in this role for today's meeting was really interesting, fun, feeling of euphoria, just feel the vibe throughout the room. I actually lost count of the number of times we used the word, so that is great. I think I stopped counting at 25. I know some of us, and I used the word so my apologies. It was very great to feel the sense of happiness. Master Mikasa noting that we're all going through the country and internationally we're experiencing great despair, and how he could take that and say, okay, let's focus on something positive and bring that vibe to a good feel. I really like listening to the icebreaker and the speeches and hearing words such as interim, engaged, quotable, communication, excellence, self-responsibility, destined, the chosen one. Latchkey kid brought back a memory when I was 10. I could relate to that. Reparations, life lessons, determination, efforts, success, apology. Like I wanted one last Friday, but I won't get it. Opportunities. Those were a number of words that I really liked that we used during our meeting today. Of course, we had the the ahs. We're working on that as a group. And again, I'm feeling in, so I really appreciate the opportunity to attempt this role. I've enjoyed it, and I definitely want to say, in my general comment here, there is no substitute to serve. So thank you very much, General Vice President.
Fantastic job. That was great. Thank you for being Johnny on the spot or Jono on the spot to fill in for grammarian. How about the ah counter report? How did we do with our ahs? Let's call him the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz, Anita Young.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all. I just want to say that it's interesting as the ah counter because all of the speeches were so euphoric. The entire room was full of euphoria during each speech. And each week when I think, okay, it can't get any better, it builds and it builds and it builds and this crescendo just explodes. Let me stop. I almost said S-O. Anyway, today we had a few ums. One of the things that I caught myself finding that was difficult to do as the ah counter was to listen to everyone and look at the technical aspect of the ahs, the ums, the you knows. I didn't even catch the you know. Thank you, Dewey. Because everyone is so artistic. So I liken it to being at an ice skating event and you're watching this person perform and you're just caught up and it's so melodic and it's fluid. And then you forget, okay, maybe that triple Lutz wasn't perfect. They didn't nail the landing. But it looks so good. So that's why I didn't catch a lot of the things that I probably should have. The obvious ones were, of course, again, ums, a couple of ahs, and all of the distinguished Toastmasters, just flawless. Listening to all of you speak, I didn't catch any ums, ahs, uhs, buts, ands that weren't necessary. Obviously, there are times when an and a but needs to go there, or because. So everyone did a very excellent job, and I look forward to being the ah counter again one day and probably catching more because I know what to look for and to not get, well, to continue to get caught up, but also to be cognizant of what everyone's saying. Thank you.
All right. What time is it, Aaron? It's time for the Timers Report. Let's welcome our timer, Jana Jacobs.
It's Jana Jacobs. First of all, I'd like to say that when I was a child, there was a very special Facts of Life episode where they encountered a latchkey child that they had to figure out how to solve all his problems, and he actually wore the key around his neck, which I found hilarious because I'm the youngest of 5 and a latchkey kid. That was my special time alone every day. Anyway, time-wise, speakers did very well today. Speaker number 1, Tricia, came in at 4 minutes, 27 seconds. Speaker number 2, Adrian Duncan, 6 minutes, 48 seconds. Speaker number 3, Philip Borden, 7 minutes, 10 seconds. Table topic speakers, Christina, 1 minute 24, David, 2:07, Barbara, 1:42, Evaluator 1, David, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Evaluator 2, Barbara Williams, 1 minute 46 seconds. And Evaluator 3, Dewey McGar, at 2 minutes 34 seconds. Thank you for letting me be your timer today.
Thank you, Jana. I have a little bit of time. I just wanted to commend y'all as grammarian or as general evaluator. I know I said grammarian. We have the opportunity to share what we felt went particularly well in a meeting. I really enjoyed how we started right on time. Thank you, Dewey. Aaron did a great job with the Toastmaster Minute, a lot of energy, great delivery, great content. Word of the day was phenomenal. I love this euphoric sign. Not only did we pass it out, but it was even on our front door. It was amazing. I love that smiley face. You just feel euphoric looking at it. Very creative. Great job for Sonia. Great speeches. All were phenomenal. Fantastic, provocative questions from Dr. Mikasa. Great meeting. Fantastic meeting. I'll turn control back to our presiding officer, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dewey McGar.
Those of you who have your manuals, come by.
Job.
Immediately after adjournment, I'd like all of the officers to come forward so we can set a specific time to meet concerning the club success plan. I trust that you all went over the email that we sent out concerning that, and you're ready to put that together. We have one more training session for club officers. It will take place Thursday, July the 28th at Southwest Power Pool, same as last time. We'll open the doors at 5:30. Training starts promptly at 6. Training will complete at 8:45. All officers who have not been to training, you must attend this Thursday night training. If there are any club members who would like to attend, there's some powerful information given out there that you cannot get at the club level. I would encourage you to attend. If you can, please see Joyce so she can get your name on the security list for entrance into the building. We need to be thinking about the fall humorous speech and table topics contests. We will have to finish our contest at the club level no later than the 10th of September. Be thinking about participating as a contest official or as a participant in one of those contests. Need someone to volunteer as a chairman for that contest as well. Is there any other club business we need to conduct before we adjourn? Need to elect a treasurer today. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you. At this time, I'll open nominations for treasurer for HealthMasters. It's been named and seconded to nominate Barbara Williams. Will you accept the nomination, Barbara? Other nominations? Other nominations for treasurer? Those who don't know, the treasurer's responsibility is to take care of our money. You would collect the dues every 6 months from all of the club members, deposit it in the bank, communicate with Toastmasters International using our credit card to pay our dues to Toastmasters International. It is not a time-consuming job, but it is a very critical and important job for our club. If you become treasurer, that will fill one of the things that you need to complete your advanced leader bronze to be a club officer for 6 months.
I have a question. I would like to nominate Sonia Davis to be our treasurer.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second for Sonia as treasurer. Sonia, would you accept that nomination? Okay.
Pay your dues on time by the 20th of September.
Adrian, let's get back to business.
We're on business. Go.
We have one nomination for treasurer, Sonia. Are there other nominations for treasurer? Seeing none, I would accept a motion from the floor to have our secretary cast one ballot for Sonia Davis to be our treasurer. Is there such a nomination?
I'll move.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second that our secretary cast one ballot for Sonia Davis to bring her into that office. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Sonia. Sonia, I'm the immediate past treasurer. Prior to me is Barbara Williams in the back, who declined the nomination. If you have any questions, please see one of us. See me immediately following the meeting. I'll have you fill out some paperwork to get your name on the bank account to allow you to use the account. And Barbara can be your assistant treasurer. She just volunteered to help you with that. I'm sure Dave has had treasurer experience as well. I think he's done them all. Any other club business before we adjourn? This has been one euphoric meeting. I appreciate everything. I won't talk too long. I will give you 2 minutes off early. Meeting adjourned. Officers, please come to the front.
Oh,